So the small goals, when it comes to really the day-to-day things, maybe something that you can get done in a day, in a week, even in a month. But I would still consider a month a larger goal. Within a work week, 5 days, that's more of a smaller goal. But especially things that you can do within a day. And when it comes to small goals, it's like the best way to put it is a lot of little things equals a big thing. And when we try to make changes in our life, we often try and see things in this like black and white. Like, if I make this change, everything in my world will change. That is never how realities work. You can make really amazing changes. I mean, you could quit smoking, drinking, stop being a sex addict, all these crazy things, with one session of hypnosis, and you can make a lot of great changes. But when it comes to success, it's a lot of little things that add up to a big thing. It's kind of the wisdom of, great fortunes or great habits are built in times of need, and then bad habits are formed in times of prosperity. That's just how all things go. So when you focus on the small things, the day-to-days, and you always try and perfect every little small thing, and I don't mean make it perfect, I mean give your all, your heart, your fire, your energy inside of it, it's going to add up to a very big thing. And it's the way that literally just, you're not even going to see it because it's so small, but it's so quick. And when you apply it to every little thing in your life, oh, it is huge. It's bigger than going to some retreat with Tony Robbins or a self-development or self-help person for an entire week or month, because it's all the small things that they can't teach you. It's all the small things that you have to undertake yourself. So a lot of small goals equal a big one. The other thing about small goals is, like I said, one day to 1 week. That's how small they are. You're not looking for a lot to do. You're not looking for a huge thing. If it's going to be done, it needs to be done quickly, or else that becomes a long goal, a large goal, something that you have to plan out over time. And ultimately, all small goals have a completion. So when I talk of a small goal, now a small goal for me nowadays is like, I'm going to create an entire course in one day. I'm going to spend, 2-3 hours doing that, editing it, blah, 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 research, etc. But once that's done, that's complete. That's a small goal. Your small goal may be, I'm going to write this article today. That has a completion. That's not something that's ongoing. A larger goal would be something like, I'm going to get 100 articles up this year, or I'm going to create 100 courses this year, or I'm going to make $10,000, from this. Your small goals all have completion points. Usually if you're talking small goals, it's like I said, something can be achieved in a day or a week. It's very quick, very on point, right to the next thing. Now, my favorite thing, and I'm going to get into this, is what I call micro goals. All right? And micro goals still to me equal small goals, but they're just very slightly different, and I'll just kind of talk about it in the little sense. But a lot of micro goals, same thing, add up to small goals. Small goals add up to big goals. A big goal adds up to basically what you've envisioned for your life and your career. So micro goals tend to be things that you can get done in 5 minutes or less, all right? So I'm just going to quickly pop over here because it's such a small thing to talk about. Micro goals. So micro goals, oops. And I always have troubles with this. I think that's the less than sign. If I'm wrong, just let me know. Under 5 minutes. To-dos. So anything that takes less than 5 minutes. If you're going to call someone, it's not like a conversation with a client and discussing their campaign or things like that. Do that. Do that always in the first beginning parts of your day. So begin with micro. All right? Then move to small goals. And the reason why I say this is these small to-dos are going to just like get you so pumped up and ready for the day. Imagine within the first 60 minutes of working, you finish 5 or even 10 things on your to-do list. That would feel amazing, right? Even if they were just little small things like go check this or go do that or this or that. I always put those in the beginning of the day. So the next thing that I want to say about that is once you've, done all your small goals, you're only going to do them 2 times a day. All right. And that's starting and finishing. All right. So what I mean by that is I start my day at maybe 9 in the morning. Whatever time you start your day, same thing. First hour goes to all those micro tasks. So I'm going to try and get done. My max goal is get 12 of these micro tasks done within an hour. If I get those 12 done, I then take a break for myself for whatever the time's left, and I just go, relax, get ready, mentally prep myself for the next small goals I got to do, and it really gets you turning your wheels a lot better. And then I finally finish my day, maybe 4 o'clock, 4:30, I'm wrapping up from a 9 to 5. Then I'll finish with any of these small things that naturally piled up throughout the day. If there's more than it goes over my time, I try to then move those things into the next day, the next morning. So nothing's really going to escape past you longer than 24 hours for these micro tasks that you need to follow up on. And it's all of those little things that you keep up on that makes everything so valuable to you. Now, I do want to let you know that the reason I say the start and the finish is most of your micro tasks are probably going to be really around what I would consider communications. Email, a phone call, something that you're communicating out with another person to get them on the same track, or initiating something, a service, or finishing up or delivery. Whatever that is, always make sure you do not reply back to emails right away. That is a huge misstep when it comes to micro goals and small goals. You don't want to reply back to things right away. You usually want to wait 24, sometimes 48 hours to do these replies back, or else what you're going to end up having is just a back and forth of tennis or ping pong. Bump, 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 bump. And all of a sudden you arrive at the end of the day, you've only talked with one person all day. Sure, you handled their issue, but my God, it took forever. And that's not a good thing to have. Unless you have a support staff that literally just does that all day, every day, I tend not to answer too many emails. I don't hop in social media because I want to make sure that I do that in the beginning of the day and at the end of the day, and that's all. That'll keep me on point and on track for all of my daily small and micro goals so that I don't get off track in the little things, forgetting about the big things that are ultimately at hand.